There's a couple of things that you need to know about South Africans. We can be incredibly hard headed, we can be incredibly friendly and nice, but we can also get really, really, really pissy when people speak on our behalf. And this video right here is exactly me being a little pissy about the ANC, a government that I have never voted for nor ever recognized as a legitimate government of my country, speaking on my behalf. Hi, Aklon here. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Please consider hitting the like button and also commenting on the video because the new YouTube algorithm sucks and it really doesn't want to tell people that new videos are out. So you'd be doing me a great favor. Anyways, enjoy the video. Bye. So, South Africa, or I should say the ANC, a party that has lost the majority vote of the country, is condemning Israel's attacks on Iran. Now, over the weekend, Israel, in what I didn't see coming, decided to attack Iran and very specifically attack Iranian nuclear facilities as well as nuclear power stations. Now, a lot of people have condemned the attack, although I do think that Israel might actually have a point here. The fact is, Iran is a very bad player in the Middle East. The only reason Iran isn't causing more trouble is because America pretty much has bases all around Iran, and Iran is under constant threat of eradication if they were to even try. But believe me, if the US or Israel were to take one step back and allow Iran to play, Iran will very quickly overpower the Saudis because they will absolutely use nuclear weapons to get rid of the Saudis. And then they will basically subjugate the entirety of the Middle East. They are Muslim and they are Islamic, but holy crap, are they beyond fundamentalist. Like all of the Middle Eastern countries can be a little bit crazy when it comes to Islam, but Iran really takes the cake. They are fundamentalists to the core. They're the ones who is funding pretty much every single Muslim extremist group around the world. Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood, Al Qaeda back in the day. Iran has been behind all of it. Now, the only reason the world has not taken stricter action against Iran is specifically for two reasons. One, people don't want to see people die. And if you were to invade a regime like the Iranian regime, they would kill their own people. They would absolutely use their own people as shields. And they have nuclear weapons, which is usually a good way of going, let's not screw around with it. But of course, my government speaks out against this. They did, and I should just mention this in order to be fair, they did sort of condemn both sides slightly, although remember, they did condemn Israel specifically, and then they did put out another post where they were sort of going like, hey, guys, don't kill civilians, but also Israel, how dare you? How dare you do this? Of course, this isn't the first time that my government has spoken out against Israel. They also brought some cases to the ICJ. Now, the ICJ is largely a useless institution, but my government, in a show of what can only be described as our specialty, useless rhetoric, decided to take Israel to the ICJ to get Israel to stop their what they call genocide on the Gazan people. Now, I'm not going to sit here and suggest that it is or is not a genocide. I will just say that over the course of a 2-year, well, not a 2-year war, but a years of non-stop fighting, the fact that their population has only declined by about 6%, and the majority of that decline is actually people leaving Gaza, not actually people dying in Gaza. Considering Gaza is one of the most densely populated areas in the world, I would say that either the Israelis suck at genocide and don't understand how bombs work, like you could just blanket them and kill as many people as you want, or maybe the Israelis aren't trying to genocide all of the Gazans. I don't know. It just seems like sort of strange to me. The Israelis absolutely have enough weapons to basically wipe out the entire Gaza area in a night. Yes, the world will be sort of upset, but it will take a week and then the world will get back to normal because most people don't actually give a shit about stuff that's happening halfway across the world, except, of course, my government, who, yeah, well, they also don't really care. But it starts to make sense when you realize that Iran actually funded the ANC. That's right. The African National Congress was broke before the last election. I think suddenly out of nowhere, they got massive cash injections. Now, should be mentioned, there is no actual evidence. I could go through all of these articles. There are no concrete evidence of any sort of money paid. But you have, for example, this, right? One area of particular interest in the financing of the ANC's election campaign, the ANC was in substantial debt ahead of May 2024 general election. The report states in 2022, for example, the party considered selling off assets to pay off a reported 500 million rand, or roughly $27.7 million in debt. Curiously, in early January 2024, SA President Cyril Ramaphosa announced that the ANC had mysteriously managed to stabilize its finances, pay off its staggering debt, and recover from the verge of bankruptcy without providing any specifics on how this had occurred. Crucially, the money appeared in the ANC's coffers without explanation, mere days after the South African government brought its case against Israel at the ICJ. This is sort of, there are so many articles that highlight a lot of the sort of strange things that's happened around the ANC and their funding. For those of you that doesn't live in South Africa, literally about 2 years ago, the ANC went through a period where they couldn't even pay their own workers. Like people who own or work for the party would go months without being paid. That's how deeply in debt the ANC was, which is pretty much bog standard for every single, socialist and communist party around the world. They tend to eventually just go bankrupt because they don't know how to run their finances, unless you have a friend in the Middle East that is incredibly evil, incredibly bad, and has a bit of oil money that Biden so helpfully provided them. And it sort of all coincides, by the way, that's part of the evidence. I want to make one thing super clear. As a South African, the ANC does not speak for me. I don't care at all. I'm not on the side of Israel in this debacle. I'm also not on the side of Iran in this debacle. I couldn't care less what happens in the Middle East. This is so far away from me that whether Israel wipes Iran off the face of the earth or whether Israel leaves them in peace, I could not care less. I do think Iran is a significant threat, and for that, I think they should be bombed to hell and back. I think every single nuclear, even if there's someone in Iran that just thinks nuclear, they should be bombed, right? Because Iran has shown themselves to be a very unstable player in the Middle East. And if Iran had nuclear weapons, they would undoubtedly use that shit because it's Iran. They're crazy, right? And they're super fundamental in their sort of strange, weird beliefs. But I should say, it's not really strange and weird. It is the most literal read of the Quran. A lot of Muslims, thankfully, don't read the Quran that literally, but it is the most fundamental read of the Quran. But yeah, Iran is just a bad guy. Now, regardless of how you feel about Israel and their war in Gaza against Hamas, I think any reasonable person can look at Iran and go, yeah, no, you can bomb Iran. What I would like to see, and what I think the West should really look into, is making life as hard as possible in Iran so that it's people who already don't like its government, by the way. So if you are on the side of South Africa here and going, yeah, stop bombing Iran, please know that the people of Iran don't like their government. They hate their government. Their government is a dictatorship, by the way. And so, yeah, I just want to make it clear. You're not speaking for me, ANC. Speak for yourself. If you guys care so much about Iran, why don't you go to the Middle East? We'd be happy to be rid of you. Quite frankly, they would probably not be happy having you, but it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comment section down below if you agree with anything I just said. Do you think the ANC speaks for you? Are you also condemning Israel? Or do you think Israel should just go ahead and bomb the living shit out of Iran anyways? Because at least, hey, look, I want to see the minimization of human suffering. But it seems like humans want to maximize bombing each other to hell and back. This seems to be the very human thing to do now. We have toys, we want to use it on people or on each other, I guess. And since that is the case, I would like for the not so shitty bad guys, but they're still bad guys, but not as shitty as the other bad guys, to at least bomb the bad guys, right? That way I can at least morally go, well, it's not good, but at least some bad guys are dying. And I must admit, Israel's strikes up until now have seemed to be very, very precise, whereas Iran's target civilians, 100%. So when the South African government, the ANC, goes ahead and says that they condemn the killing of civilians and targeting of civilian infrastructure, they're, of course, talking about Iran because Israel did not do that. That was only Iran. But let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this entire situation. I'd love to read your thoughts. As always, hit the like if you liked, the dislike if you didn't, and I will see all of you in the next one. Peace.